No, and we're live. Hello, everybody. This is Matt Vogel, and I am with YadaCoin, and this is our show today. All right. So we're going to go ahead and get started. I have a couple things that I need to do real quick, so just give me a couple seconds real quick. I need to get back to Twitch so I can see the live streams or the chats. So there's tons to talk about. Little recent development with the ARM architecture, which opens a lot of doors for us. Before, there was some issues that kept us from running a full node on the ARM architecture. So, I'll get to that in a second. But give me a moment while I get this ready. Producer's giving me the evil eye, telling me that's actually really good. Excellent. I can't work like this. No, I'm kidding. That's good. You know what? That was great timing because I'm done now. Good. All right, and we're back. So, thank you for everybody for joining the YadaCoin live stream. We have so much awesome content to cover today. I mean, look, we just got the RandomX framework to cooperate with the ARM processor finally. So that means that not only can we use this on the Raspberry Pi, but that also means that we can use this on Oracle's ARM instances. So those have like, I think up to 24 cores. Our good buddy Andy Rue, one of the Hash Yada pool hosts, was looking into that. He's done some great research in that area, and it looks like we have confirmation that the node actually synced rather quickly on an ARM processor. So that's fantastic. And that being a free node, that opens a lot of doors for us to start nodes, and I believe also mine very inexpensively. So very exciting news about that. I mean, this also opens a lot of doors on the Raspberry Pi front. So we can also get the Raspberry Pi to be our mobile device, right? So that's been the big goal for a long time, is to be able to take this node with you. We want to be able to have a mobile node. So when we have a mobile node, what can we do with that? Well, we can scan QR codes and verify signatures with our identities using our contacts. So that's really awesome, right? Because you can take a contract, right, a physical contract, with a QR code that replaces the handwritten signature portion of the contract. And you can verify that that signature was written by one of your contacts. It's really, really awesome. So if we have that scenario, and let me just back up for a second. So I kind of said a lot right there, right? So that's one of our main objectives, is we're going to try to replace signatures, handwritten signatures, right? Because they're like these sort of outdated, they're not verifiable. They don't make much sense when you really think about signatures. They're this very, very, very old custom that if you really think about it, they don't have any, like, how do you say this in a nice way? They just, they don't have any purpose, you know, as far as providing real verifiability that you actually signed something. if you ever have like signed a receipt at a grocery store or a restaurant or something like that, and it says merchant copy and you sign on the line, it doesn't matter what you write there, to be perfectly honest with you. And the signature that you provide there does not give the credit card company any recourse against you, really, in a practical sense. So what we aim to do is actually use YadaCoin and our social graph to verify, to create verifiable signatures, so that when someone signs something or executes an agreement, that you can actually verify that that person is the person that executed that agreement. Maybe we can wait to adjust the camera until I'm done making a point there. Maybe we could just wait until I'm done making the point. But hey, it's cool. It's cool. So I think before I jumped off frame, what happened is that, so I was explaining like, hey, you can have all of these signatures floating around, handwritten, but they're totally unverifiable, right? So like, what use is that really? And if you want to prove that somebody signed something, you have to go into all kinds of forensic studies. You have to get a signature expert, and you have to pull up video footage of somebody signing something. I mean, how can you really prove that somebody signed something? You really can't. So that's what we aim to solve. It's like you have a private key that somebody uses for all of their social interactions. And then if you have that separate identity for like your identity that you use to like buy a house or interact with the government or something like that, then you can use that identity to sign contracts. Like if you're going to rent a new apartment, or if you're going to buy a home, or if you're, anything like that, lawyer, signing anything really, you can use this identity to sign things across all these different platforms and for all these different organizations. And the good thing about Yada is that you also that can just be one of your identities. So it's not like you have this one single tracked identity throughout the whole world and all that stuff. That's like Facebook. That's like what they would want to do, is take your identity that you're using for your government stuff and your home buying stuff and all that stuff, and then make that the same identity that you use when you go on Twitter and go on Reddit and all of these other places. And that's just that's a terrible idea, and it should not happen. You should have multiple identities for the different kinds of roles that you carry out in the world. And so that's what we're trying to do. YadaCoin really shines in this area. You can create multiple identities, and then those identities can enter into agreements and create expectations that are verifiable on the blockchain. So it's very exciting news, very cool stuff. And I actually have a Raspberry Pi right here working. This is QVC now. This is officially QVC. This is my absolute favorite. So if you check this out, you lower the keyboard there, okay? So you have this really cool terminal output, okay? And this is going to give you all of your health check information, okay? This is going to let you know the status of your node, okay? So you have really cool things like message sender health, and that's going to tell you, are these messages being sent out, okay? And how long has it been since the last message has been sent out? Block insertion health. When's the last time a block was inserted? These are really helpful things. It says time until the next failure. It's basically giving you a countdown of when that particular module is going to be counted as in a failure state. So these health checks are just extremely important, extremely helpful. Mempool Cleaner. This is something that is pretty new to the ecosystem. It's something that helps all of the mempools on the network stay fresh of transactions that are invalid or have inputs that are already spent. So what you see here also, this dangling thing down here, this is a NFC module. So one of the core tenets of, actually one of the bigger problems that we solve here at Center Identity and YadaCoin is that people will say, well, what if you lose your phone? What if you lose your private key? Well, this NFC reader actually enables us. Oh, sorry. My producer is letting me know that you can't see the actual NFC reader. So this is going to be packaged up in a very beautiful case. It's going to be very nice and slick and chic. You're going to want to show it off to all your friends, and you really will. You're going to be the talk of the town, honestly. If you go walking around town with this thing, they're going to be like, what is that? I want one. I want to be that person, okay? So this is going to be the new device. This is going to be the new thing. They're going to be like, iPhone, what's that dinosaur doing around here? Get it out of here. So we want to go and use this NFC module to give you the other half of your key. So the cool thing about this NFC module, so you can have these MyFair tags, right? And it's just like any other tag you use to get into like your apartment building or like a garage or something like that. Like these key fobs are a big part of our lives now if you live in like a urban environment or something like that. So but what we can also use those, yeah, that's right. Yep. Yeah, like I appear to live in some kind of jungle environment, but it's just a plant in a pot. So I'm not in like the outskirts of a jungle. But anyway, so what we have is a MyFair device that holds the other half of the key. The other half of the key is on the MyFair device, and then the other half is on the identity device. This would be the Raspberry Pi in this case. Now this is just a prototype. So, but we are going to make the prototypes available. If you want a Raspberry Pi like this with the screen already attached and all that stuff, and then of course we'll have a housing on it and all that stuff to make it nice and pretty. But and I should also mention that the node will be installed and synced to the latest block before we ship it out. So if you want to contact me and get an early release of that, I'd definitely be happy to oblige you there. So yeah, we have some other cool features here. We have the camera. Again, this is just the raw components right now. So we have a camera module on here, and that enables us to. No, it's really cool. It's you're gonna be the talk of the town when you have a ribbon cable attached to your camera module. No, but really though, you get the picture. I mean, this is what all these devices look like under the covers, right? So you have this ability to scan the QR codes, and then when you scan the QR code, you can choose which identity to verify that QR code against. So you can say, okay, this signature with this content, I'm going to verify against my friend Susie, and we'll see. We're going to select her from my list, and then we're going to scan the QR code. That QR code is a signature, and then we're going to see if she actually signed that. And if she did, boom, then the message is verified. She actually signed that message, and we know that she either agreed to it, she said it, anything like that. The message, the signature implies the identity has signed off on the particular message that was included in the signature. So, oh sure, yeah, no, I didn't realize that we actually had guests in here, so I was just kind of going off. Oh, it looks like we have quite a few guests in here. Okay, well, let's just thank a couple people for being here. We got Apple Pie Chart, we got Odyssia. I think I'm saying that wrong. I apologize. Arock85, probably murdering these. Cyberhouse Lord, thanks for coming back. Yeah, thanks for coming back. Lurks, here week after week. I appreciate that. Pusheisty, I believe that's new. I'm not sure. Seeny Peeny, thanks for coming back. All right, so basically, we're just going over this device, which is a very exciting device. And again, I'm excited because we just got this working, right? So the Raspberry Pi is a very versatile device that you can plug many different types of sensors into. You can program it in many different programming languages, and it's just an incredible device. It's inexpensive. It allows you to do all sorts of Internet of Things type of tasks, and YadaCoin can be right in the middle of all of those tasks. So you don't need to have a laptop, you don't need to have a desktop PC, you don't need to have something that sticks around on in one place that you can't move, or you could even have this device outside. If you put it in some kind of waterproof enclosure or something like that, or if you're in a very dry area. Yeah, so this just really takes things to the next level. You could do home security. You could do, gosh, what else? I mean, the possibilities really are endless. You could control a parking garage door opener with it. You could just do any number of things. It's really incredible. So we're very excited about getting this node to be running on the Raspberry Pi. And again, that was made possible from the good folks over at Monero, who made their who updated their RandomX library to work on the ARM processor, and also Jethro Grassi, I think. Jethro Grassi of the Monero project. He's also involved in creating the PyRX library. And I think he's the one that actually did the merge of the RandomX update into the PyRX Python library. So that was a game changer. That's what made everything possible at this point. So I didn't expect that to come through, because Andy Rue and I were, and also Jonathan Blake, we were testing together the Raspberry Pi, and we were getting this core dump error, and the core dump error was like the end. Like, we were done after that. Like, once that happened, there was really nothing we could do. We tried a lot of different troubleshooting things, and nothing was working, and we thought we were just pretty much finished. And then all of a sudden, I actually created an issue ticket with the PyRX library on GitHub to try to finally get this resolved, because it's such a big issue for us, and we really want to get the Raspberry Pi to work with our platform. So we raised the issue, and they actually replied very quickly, and I was surprised. I was like, wow, I'm telling the story here. I'm telling, my producer's telling me that I'm rambling, but you know what? I'm actually really excited about this. So, oh, the drama. So what happened is that they replied very quickly, right? And then he said, oh, well, I'm not getting this issue. I'm not getting this problem. And then he actually showed a screenshot of him producing a RandomX hash on a Raspberry Pi device, and then he showed the version of Ubuntu that he was using, and then he was also showing the hash that he produced. So I was thinking, wow, how is that happening? We're getting a core dump error, and he's getting a RandomX hash. Well, I went back to the commit history, and wouldn't you know, it got updated on January 31st, 2022. Probably about 4 days or 5 days after we were testing. So I was thinking, okay, well, we were just testing on the older version, and the version, when we were testing, it was the current version, but now it's the older version. So now I went back and updated our RandomX library for YadaCoin, and got all that pip stuff figured out with Python, and then set it up, downloaded the new version through pip, and then started it up on our Raspberry Pi, and then boom, we had RandomX hashes on the Raspberry Pi. Very exciting. It's incredible when a roadblock like this gets lifted. You know, you try to go down these avenues and try to do something really cool, but when you hit a roadblock that is sort of like only the manufacturer can fix it, that's kind of a bummer, and that's kind of where we were at with that issue. But that issue got lifted, and so I'm really excited about it. And thank you. Yes. Let's get another one. Like, can we get a bigger one? Is that? Let's start it off with like an awe. It's almost like, yeah, it's almost like adoration. Yeah, that one's alright. Nah, I don't know about that, but anyway. All right, so let's get to some of these questions. All right, sir, why is the Yada volume $15? That could easily be solved by spending money on YadaCoin. Sir, how does YadaCoin work? Well, YadaCoin is a blockchain of user relationships. So we don't actually store the identities on the YadaCoin blockchain. We just store the relationships between identities. So that's the important part. So we get, so if you picture a social graph and then you have all the dots and then the lines connecting the dots, just get rid of the dots and keep the lines. And then that's what you have. That's YadaCoin right there. And so we use those relationships to verify. We create a network of verifiable identities. All right, so that's basically in short what YadaCoin is. Sir, what about signing things on Ethereum? Now, I don't think that we use the same curve as Ethereum. Bitcoin and YadaCoin use the same curve. It's the SecP 256K1 curve, and I don't know if YadaCoin or if Ethereum uses that same one. I haven't looked into that, so but I highly doubt it. So I would say no, but we can check. And if you want to check, it's the SecP 256K1. So if Ethereum uses that, then yes, it's possible. Okay, so sir, I must go. Please, I'm like answering him and he's gone. All right, sir, I must go. Please answer my question for. Oh, okay. So he's gonna rewatch and then he'll have a watch. Anyway, sir, I must have already smashed my iPhone on the ground. I'm sorry to hear that. Please do not break your devices because you could use them to mine YadaCoin. You know, so no sense in doing that unless you're like the member of a band or something and you're doing it like, you know, breaking your guitar on the ground or something, which is kind of cool, I guess. You could do that. So, can it be an added step for identity verification? Absolutely. So what we want to do is get YadaCoin integrated into tons of processes all over the world, right? We want it to be integrated into healthcare, into the process for getting people their prescriptions. So when a doctor writes a prescription, what do? They sign it with a signature, a scribble of all things. What would you want more? A scribble on a piece of paper, or would you want a verifiable signature that you can trace back digitally to the doctor with credentials? I think you'd probably want the digital version and not the scribble, right? So you could also do the situation in the job market where you have people hunting for jobs, and then you have applicants, and this is happening quite a bit. You have scam artists, of course, because there's scam artists everywhere where there's money. So you have scam artists, and they're like, okay, well, I can send a resume that has all these great credentials and things like that, and then I can actually send a person that did not have that experience into the job interview, and then they can go through the interview process and all this stuff, and I can make money off of them, right? And see, that's not good. So we need to have it verifiable all the way through. So if we're using these identities, we can verify somebody who submitted their resume and then actually filled out the paperwork for the job after they received the offer. And then the person who is actually at the job when they show up for their first day at work and each subsequent day. So these verified identities are going to become the future. These signatures, they are on borrowed time. They are not going to last. We are going to get rid of them. And it's going to be just an adjustment period, a period of change. People are going to have to get used to it. They're going to have to, learn to trust this. But it's just like using the internet for online banking. It took a while for banks to come around, but they eventually did. And so when we introduce this new ecosystem to some of the smaller organizations, and we get that that verification that they're happy with it, they trust it, and now it's invaluable to them, this will grow. People will see that. They'll say, wow, that process is very streamlined. And also, perhaps the signatures safeguarded us from some potential liabilities or risks or what have you. So they're going to want to adopt the technology as well. And it'll just keep increasing into larger and larger organizations until it's a ubiquitous solution all over the world. So I'm very excited about this, and we're the first to market. There are so many people out there that are trying to do, that are saying they're doing something like this. You'll see blockchain projects all over the place saying, oh, we're a blockchain project with identity, management and all this stuff. And go look at their demos. Go look at their demos. They don't have any. Go look at, whatever it is they claim they're, it's all, oh, we're going to do that in the future. Oh, we're going to do that. YadaCoin works already. We're already doing this. We already have a product, okay? This already works. You can go look at all of our working products. Everything that we do, we make a product first, and then we announce it, okay? So that's the difference. That's how you know that you can trust this project over any of these other projects that have these big names and great industry position. It's don't trust your resources there, okay? I mean, don't waste your time with it. It's going to not turn out well for you. It's all talk until they have a demo, until they have some code, until they have an app that you can use and it works and you can see it with your own eyes and you can verify it yourself. Think about that. So let's just go off on a rant real quick about that before I go. The whole heart and nature of blockchain is to independently verify each block and transaction, okay? So you should be like a blockchain node yourself with each project that you check out. You should be able to independently verify everything that they are saying. You should not take anything for trust, nothing. And that's why we do it this way, is so that whenever we come up with something and we announce something, we have something for you to look at and for something for you to test, something that you can verify on your own. And that's why we do it this way, and there's no real other way to do it. We need you to independently verify the claims that we're making, and you can do that. So you can't say it's a scam. You can't say really anything bad about us. In that regard, we have the utmost integrity and probably the best ethics of any project out there. So I think we'll end on that note. I started 5 minutes late, but it's now 2:35, and thank you. It's about drive, it's about power. All right, everybody. See you later. Peace.